Okay guys, our project is coming together real nice. We have completed the home page, we have also completed the recipes page. So now the only thing left is the settings page. So in this video, let's create this settings page. So we want the setting page to look like this. So in this video we are going to first design this page, so we'll make this layout, and in the next video we are going to make everything work. So if I click on this, the dark theme should appear. If I click on this, the light theme should appear, and we should also be able to change the color, the font size, etc. Okay, so let's start. But before that, I have noticed one thing is this is still just a regular link, not a router link. So if I click on this, nothing happens. So let's change it to a router link. So I'm going to go to our navbar, and here instead of just a tag, we're going to use the link tag. So we're going to say link, and the link is a custom component from the React router. We have imported it here. So here we're going to say link, and we also need a to property. So we're going to say to will be simply the /, so the home page, and the closing tag also needs to be link, like so. Save, and now if you click on this, we go back to the home page. Okay, great. Now let's start building the layout. So for that, let's go to our settings page. Let me close this navbar, we don't need it anymore. So here first we are going to have a div, and I'm going to give it a class name of section. So class name equals to section. Inside that we are going to have a h2, and let me just copy the text, and then we are going to have another div, and this div will be this container here. So let me give it a class name of options container. So class name equals to options dash container, and for now we can simply say hello, like so. Save, and this is how this looks like. Okay, so our section have a display of flex. So our sections will also have a class of, let's say, d-block. This d-block will make the display to block. So in the index.scss, first we want to cut all of this. So we're going to cut all this. These are for our recipes page. So let me just Ctrl X, cut this. In our partials, we're going to create a new file. Let's call it _recipes section .scss, and we can paste it. Ctrl V, Ctrl S, close it, and then we can import it. So we're going to set import, and we want to import partials / recipes section. Save, and let's go to our recipes page. Okay, everything still works the same, so it's working. Okay, now let's target our d-block. So in the section, we're going to say the section with the class of d-block. They will have a display of block, so we can simply say display, and the display will be block. Okay, this should be n.d-block, not just d-block. So we want section with the class of d-block, not the d-block inside the section. Save, and now they are in 2 rows, so that is because section has a display of block and not flex. Okay, let's target the options container now. So we're going to target the options container. Let's go back to our index.scss. Let's scroll down, and let's say we want to start writing here. So let's say dot options container. So the options container is this div. So first of all, this will have some box shadow. So we're going to say box dash shadow, and let's say 0 for the x-axis, 5 pixel for the y-axis, and 10 pixel for the blur. And the color can be our shadow color, like so. And we also want some padding. So we're going to say padding of, let's try 1 em. We also want some border radius, so we're going to say border radius, and the border radius can be, let's say, 5 pixel. And we'll also have the primary color in our right border, so we're going to say border left, sorry. So we're going to say border left, and let's say we want 0.5 em solid, and our primary color, so we're going to say var dash primary color. Let me close the sidebar, like so, and let me also give it a background color. So we're going to say background color, and the background color will be our background color. So we're going to say var, and we want dash background color, like so. Save, and this is how this looks like so far. Let's also give it a margin top. So we're going to say margin top, and the margin top can be, let's say, 0.5 em. Let's see how that looks. Actually, let's try 1 em. And yeah, I think 1 em is better. Okay, let's also choose the h2 inside that. So we're going to target the h2 inside the d-block. So let me just copy this, and let's say we are going to target it here, so d dash block and the h2 inside that. Let's say this will have a font size of 1.5 em. Let's see how that looks. Let's try 2 em and let's see. Okay, 2 em is too much. Let's try 1.75, and yeah, 1.75 should be pretty close. Okay, now inside this container we are going to have these options, so we are going to create those. So let's say we are going to have a div with a class of option, and we are going to give this div a class name of option, like so. And inside the option we are going to have a checkbox, so let's say we are going to have a div with a class of checkbox. Actually not checkbox, let's just say check. This is not a box, circle rather. And let's close it, so /div, like so. So here we are going to have the check icon from font awesome, so we're going to first import font awesome. So we're going to say import, going to import font awesome icon from react font awesome icon, like so. And then we are going to import the check icon, so we are going to say import, and we are going to import fa check from at font awesome /free solid svg icon, like so. So here now we can use the fa check icon, like so. We're simply going to have to use the font awesome component, and for the icon we can pass the check icon, like so. Save, and here it is. So let's now style it. Okay, before that, in first container we are going to have two checkbox. So what I'm going to do is copy this, so I'm going to alt shift down to copy, and the first one can have a class of light, let's say light, and the second one can have a class of dark, like so. Save. Okay, now let's target the options inside the options container. So here inside this we are going to have option, and let me just switch to this tab. So let's say our options will have a height, so we're going to say height of, let's try 2 em. We're also going to say width to 2 em, and let's give it a box shadow again, so box shadow, and the box shadow can be, let's say 0 pixel for the x-axis, 3 pixel for the y-axis, 6 pixel for the blur, and the color will be shadow color, like so. Okay, 2 em is not enough, let's try 3, and 3 is a bit better. We can change it later if you want, but for now let's just say our container will have a display of flex, so we're going to say display flex, like so. And the options can have some margin on the right, so or rather we can simply use the gap property here, so we can say gap, and the gap can be, let's say 1 em. Save, and now we have this gap. Let's see, they need to be bigger and more white space maybe, so let's try 4, and 4 is too much. Let's try 3.5. Let's see if that looks any better. Yeah, 3.5 should be very close to what we have, and they will also have some border radius, so we're going to say our option will have a border radius, the border radius of 10 pixel. Let's see if 10 pixel is too much. Yeah, let's try 5 pixel, like so. 5 pixel is very close. And let's say they will also have a display of flex, so we're going to say display, the display will be flex, the justify content will be center, and align items to be center. So justify content center and align items to center, so that way the checkbox will be in the center, like so. Okay, now let's target option with the class of light, so we're going to say and.light. This one will have a background color of white, so background color, the background color will be, let's say hashtag FFF. And then let's target the and.dark. For this one the background color can be, we can copy from here, so we're going to click on inspect, so right click, inspect, and this is the color. So I'm going to simply copy this, Control C, and we can paste it here, Control V, like so. Save, and this is how this looks like. Okay, now let's target the check inside that, so I think we have to give it a class of check. Yeah, so let's target the check, so we're going to say dot check, and for the check let's say the height and width will be, let's start with 2.5 em. The background color will be our primary color, the border radius will be 50 pixel, and let's see how this looks. So this is how they look like. Okay, they'll also have the text align of center, so we're going to say text align, the text align will be center, so this will center the checkbox horizontally, and we can also center it vertically by saying line height, so we're going to say line height, the line height needs to be same as the height, so 2.5 em. And now the checkbox is centered both horizontally and vertically. Let's increase the font size, so we're going to say font size, and the font size can be, let's say, 1.2 em. Actually, let's just target the SVG separately, so let's say SVG, and the SVG can have a, let's say, height and width of 1.5 em. Let's save, and this is how they look like. And it looks like these properties are not working, so instead we're going to just copy these lines. So these 3 lines here, Control C, and you can paste it here, Control V, save. And this is better, so let me fix the indentation. Okay, it looks like our circle here also have just a little bit of shadow, so we're going to add some shadow here also. So we're going to say box dash shadow, and the box shadow will be, let's say, 0 pixel for the x-axis, 2 pixel for the y-axis, 5 pixel for the blur, and the color will be our shadow color, like so. Save, and this is how this look like. Okay, now let's go back to our settings page. Here we're going to import the use state here, so we're going to say import use state from React, and then we're going to say const, and then we're going to say theme, and we're going to say set theme equals to use state. By default our theme will be light, so now we are going to use this. So let me just copy this, Control C, and now let's say we only want to show the checkbox if the theme is light here. So we're going to say theme equals to light, and in only that case we can show a checkbox. So let me just use a parenthesis here, like so, and we can cut this. So Control X, so let me select this and Control X, cut, and we can paste it here. So Control V, save, and this is working. Okay, let's use triple equal sign instead of double equal sign, save, like so. And let's also just copy this, so Control C, and we can paste it here. Okay, let me just fix the indentation again, and here we're going to say dark instead of light, so we're going to say dark, save. And now this one have a checkbox but this one doesn't, and if we were to say our default theme is dark, in that case this one have a checkbox and this one doesn't. Okay, let's switch back, so light, and just like this let's create all the sections. So let me just copy this whole thing, so I'm going to copy all of this, so all shift down to copy, and for this one this will be our primary colors, Control C, and we are going to paste it, Control V. Okay, now for the primary colors I'm going to have an array, so let me just quickly copy the array that I already have to save your time, and I'm going to paste it. Let's say we're going to paste it here, so Control V. So these are basically just these colors here. So now here, instead of just using the div here, we're going to use a loop here. So let me just comment it out for now. So Control// to comment, and here we're going to say primary colors.map, okay, like so, and for each of them we're going to get the color and index, and after that we're going to render this div here, so all this content. So Control C, and we can paste it, Control V, and fix the indentation like so. Okay, so for now let's just say true here, so true, like so, save. Okay, let's see what happened. Okay, we have accidentally changed the first one, not the second one, so let me just Control X here and paste it above, like so, save. So now we have 1 2 3 4 5 of these elements. That is because we have 5 items in our array which are here. So let me just delete this, we don't need this anymore. And for this div here we are going to give it a background color, so we're going to say style equals to, we're going to say background color, and we have to use double set of curly brace. Inside that we're going to say background color, and the background color will simply be our color, so color, like so, save. And now each of them have this different color. And then let's go back above here. So here we're also going to say const, so we're going to create another theme. So we're going to say const primary color, set primary color equals to use state, and by default our primary color will be 0. So 0, so basically we're just storing the index here instead of the actual color. So 0 basically means the first color here. So here now we're also going to say, instead of saying true, so now here instead of saying true, what we're going to say is if primary color, so primary color equals to our index, only in that case show the checkbox, otherwise don't show the checkbox. So now only this primary color have a checkbox, that is why this is the selected color. Okay, so after that we'll have this font size and then animation speed. So for the font size, I'm once again going to copy all of this. So I'm going to copy this, all shift down to copy. If we were to save this, now we have two of them. Okay, now I'm going to also paste another array. So let me just paste it, then I will explain. So I'm going to paste it, let's say here, Control V. So now I have an array of font sizes. So for that we have 1 2 3 elements, so that is because we'll have 3 different font size, small, medium and large. So we have 3 objects in our array. So each object has a title, so for example small, medium and large, and they also have a value, so 12 pixel, 16 pixel and 20 pixel, like so. And then we are also going to say const, and here we're going to say font size, set font size equals to use state, and here by default our selected font size will be medium, so that is why we're saying 1, so second element from our array. Okay, so now let's scroll down, and here instead of saying primary colors we are going to say font sizes. So font sizes dot map, for each of them we're going to get a size, so we're simply going to say size, like so, Control C. Okay, so now here instead of having option div, here we need to have a button. So let me just comment this out. We're going to have a button, like so. The class name will be button, so class name equals to btn, and for the text we're simply going to say size.title, so size.title, like so, save. And here we have these 3 divs, so they will also have a checkbox. So let me make this multi-line. So here let me just copy this, Control C, and we can paste it here, Control V, save. And this is how this look like. Instead of just showing this icon here, let me just do this. So I'm going to say font size equals to index. If it is true, only in that case we are going to show font awesome icon here. So let me just Control X, and you can paste it here, Control V, like so, save. So now only this medium has this checkbox. Okay, let me just wrap this inside a span. So we're going to say span. Let me just cut this, so Control X, close it here, so span, like so. Okay, now let's target the span inside the button. So we're going to target the button inside this. So we're going to say dot btn, and the span inside that, let's say this will have some margin on the right side, so we're going to say margin right up, let's say 0.5 em, like so. And this will have a display of inline dash block, like so. This should be outside our options, so let me just bring it out of this options container, so like so, save. And now we have this little bit of white space between our button and our checkbox. Actually, instead of wrapping our text inside this, so let me just Control X, cut this. We want our icon to be wrapped in the span, that way we won't have white space in every button. So let me just create a span here instead. So we're going to say span, and let me close the span also. So we're going to close it, so we're going to close it here. So we're simply going to say /span, like so, save. And then in our index that says, instead of margin right, we're going to say margin left. So now only this icon here have this little bit of margin left. Okay, so now we have some warning. So let's use triple equal sign instead of double equal sign. So here we are going to use triple equal sign. Let's go up. Here we are going to use triple equal sign also, save. And now it is telling us we are not using these variables, so set theme, set primary color, set font size, etc. Don't worry, we will use them in the next video, and then the warning will be gone. Okay, finally we are going to do the same for, let's see which one we have. So finally we have this animation speed. So let me just delete this. We don't need them. And again we can just alt shift down to copy this, alt shift down. Okay, this one still says preferred theme, this should say font size. So let me just copy this, Control C, and paste it here, Control V. And then we have animation speed, Control C, and paste it here, Control V, like so, save. Okay, now finally let's scroll up, and just like our font size array, we'll also have an array for our animation speed. So let me just paste the array that I have. So our array contains some object. Each object, like previous, contains a title and a value. So again we're going to say const animation speed. So const animation speed, set animation speed equals to 1, because by default our animation speed will be medium, like so, save. And then for our animation speed here, instead of size we're now getting speed. So let me just rename this. So I'm going to target all these two here, and here we're simply going to say, instead of size we're going to say speed, like so. Okay, instead of font sizes here, we are also going to have to say animation speeds. So animation speeds like so. Save. And now this is animation speeds, and instead of font size, we are going to say animation speed like so. Save. And this is how this looks like so far. And let's see. And yeah, this should be pretty close to what we have in our finished project. So I think that's gonna be it for this video, and in the next video we'll see how we can make everything work. So if we click this, that dark theme should appear. If we click this, that light theme should appear, and we should be able to change the colors by clicking on these buttons. So I'll see you in the next video.